Hey everyone, welcome back to Ouse Now for Sundays Live.
Hey everyone. I think this one's going to be fun, right?
I think so too. It's very scandalous.
I think so.
Scandalous. Let me just
Girl.
get one more thing set up and give some folks some time to join. Okay.
I think this one's going to be
Ooh,
fun.
girl. Ain't
Somebody
no
going to
so,
be, we
ain't
know
no
somebody going to be in the lot.
ain't no support like supporting your own work.
I'm saying, you got to do what you got to do.
Uh, there. um So thank you everyone who's joining us over on TikTok. We got a couple of people that's joining us on TikTok. Thank you so very much. We will try to shout you guys out as we go, but just remember, let me get this chat visible. Okay, so if y'all have any questions, drop it in the chat. It's going to take us a few moments to see it, but I promise we'll see it. So comment. Thank you for joining. Comment where you're from or any questions that you may have. And today is really going to be a little spicy, a little fun, as you can see from that topic up here. Fashion trends and social media posts
Mm.
gone wrong.
Girl.
And I think it's interesting that in this day and age, you know, people are losing jobs left and right for
Mm-hmm.
far less money than
Mm-hmm.
these few people lost their jobs. Um,
Sure.
and we've both been in the workplace for a long time, and we're not going to share for how long, but we know that there's certain things that you do, you don't do, in terms of professionalism, in terms of dress. But could you imagine losing your job for wearing a tube top and a pencil mini skirt?
I would think that I would think that when you get hired on a job, you kind of know what you're supposed to be wearing. You know the rules of the. I'm looking at the comments.
Mhm.
Hey, thank you for joining. Um, but when you get hired on the job, right? I'm pretty sure you know the ground rules. I have never ever worked on a job where they didn't have the do's and the don'ts set in stone.
Mhm.
I don't, right? I've never worked on a job like that. I mean, if anybody else has, I apologize because nobody wants to work on a job where you have to guess, is this okay? Is that okay? Is this not cool? Um, but when you work in a certain environment, you have to know how to conduct yourself. You
Absolutely. Absolutely.
like so you wore a I had to Google what that was. What was it? What was it?
This office siren.
That's it. I was like, what the hell is an office siren? Like, what the fuck is they talking about? Office siren?
Yes,
And I
but
was
I
like,
think she got it wrong.
oh,
She got the office siren all the way wrong because somewhere in that, it's a very modest, sleek look that doesn't include a tube top. In fact, a blazer would have been appropriate over said tube top. But apparently that was missed.
so do
Yep.
you think if she would have wore the like you said, if she would have wore like something over it, do you think it would have still had the same outcome? Or do you
No.
think the fact no, you don't
I
think it would have
think
still had the same outcome?
I think
It's
it would have
top.
still because it's a tube
Oh,
top. I
oh,
mean,
okay, okay,
it's
okay,
not even
okay,
a
okay,
tank top or
okay, okay.
shell. It's not modest in the workplace. And when you think in context of her job, so it was an internship at 20. first of all, I don't know any internships that actually pay, but okay, fine. She was at a internship for $25 an hour that after
Okay.
6 months would guarantee her a six-figure salary at $200,000. That screams corporate to me. Ain't no way in HE double hockey sticks that a tube top would be appropriate in corporate America. And it was a guaranteed contract that she signed and somehow missed the memo about dress code. Shocking. Hmm.
Before we went live, I meant this shit with my whole chest, right? For that type of money, I'll come in there in a nun uniform if you need me to. Like, I am so confused at what she was thinking.
Thinking?
Maybe she was not thinking. Maybe she was thinking, this is cute.
Mhm.
I'm cute. I don't know. I don't know.
I think
I
the
don't
person
know.
screams young because, well, as a young person, I never wore
Mhm.
tube top to work ever. And my first job when I was 15, and I've been working for a long time. I won't say how long, but I've been gainfully employed in the workplace since for a very long time, and I never ever thought to wear a tube top. So,
Okay.
but the person screams young still because A, you probably didn't read that contract you just started signing.
Hmm. I would
And
have signed too for that type of money. But go
I
ahead.
mean,
I'm sorry.
sure, but don't lose
What you
it
did?
too. Don't lose it 2 days in.
Girl.
2 days in.
Damn, that
Come
was quick.
on. Come
God
two
damn.
days.
You ain't even got a full paycheck. Girl, too tough.
Tube top. Yep. I mean, I still say that screams kind of like a young person would do this, but then you kind of have to take into consideration that, like, my version of conservative dress would be different from someone else's version.
Okay. True.
But I would have hoped that they did lay out some sort of guidance and, like,
Right.
okay, the do's and don'ts. But I do think that sometimes, women can be a little bit harder because our fashion sense may differ, and our idea of being conservative for the workplace would definitely differ. And I think men, sorry, men, I'm not coming at you guys, but I think that you might have it a little bit easier when it comes to corporate dress. It's a little bit more
Mm.
simplified.
I think so. I could be wrong, but I think, well, wait a minute. I guess that would really depend on how you identify.
Mm, fair.
Because that would, I think, make a difference in what you feel is comfortable attire and acceptable attire versus what someone else would, even in even in a corporate place.
I just don't.
No?
I mean, I don't see a. Oh, you guys. Hey, listen, if you're joining us on TikTok or YouTube or Facebook,
Oh,
chime in because I feel like men might have it a little bit different when it comes to. Sorry, I think you have a little bit different when it comes to attire for the workplace. Like a guy, I don't know, what's those Hawaiian shirts? This is a very old person thing to say. Golly.
okay. Go for it. I'm here. I'm right behind you. So I mean, I'm right in front of you. So go for it. Just remember, whenever you say what you're about to say, well, she's still older. So that's how you have to look at that. Okay.
Okay, so most
Okay.
men will wear an undershirt, maybe, and like maybe a random Hawaiian shirt for a dress down Friday. This is corporate America. This is not corporate casual. $200,000 a year. That
Mm,
that says strict. Even a public company. I mean, I don't know. I don't know all those details, but I think for men, like their version of dress down might be easier. Like if you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt, it would still seem kind of professional for a dress down because you get your undershirt under it and you got
mm.
your little floral pattern. I don't know. um, I've worked in conservative companies that weren't corporate, and I've never saw like I could never conceive of wearing a tube top at the workplace ever, ever. And I've worked for like extremely religious companies, and hell no, it just ain't. It just ain't it.
I don't think and I could be wrong, but I don't think any workplace environment, corporate America or not, it would be a justification for that in the workplace. I
Mhm.
could be wrong. Maybe well, I stand corrected. Maybe if you're working somewhere in retail and you're working in like a fashion type of environment,
Mm.
I could possibly see, I could see that. I could see you like, you know, it's on the mannequin and you're like, let me wear this one for people to see. I
Pushing
could
those
see that.
boundaries. Yeah, I mean, if it's
Girl,
fashion, yeah, that's
I could see
different.
that. But anything other than that I could think of where it would be appropriate, I just cannot. But I tell you something else that I can't ever see appropriate. The next story.
All right, listen, people. As okay, I'm laughing because in all my years, I have never ever posted negatively on social media, and I've been around a while. Let's say, what's the first one? What was the very first one? Tom, the guy who was Tom, he was everybody's friend when you signed up for social media. It was like around the time with Black Planet and what's that? You know which one I'm talking about.
I
Okay.
sure do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tom was everybody's friend.
Everybody. Like
What the heck?
Tom, who in the fuck are you?
Where are you, Tom, by the way? Where's he at?
Tom, you I've had my social media for how many years and I haven't seen you since we started this thing out. I haven't seen Tom since the beginning. Tom, where you went?
What is the name of that darn.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay, whatever. It's not going to come to me. But that very first social media site, it was just to get social, meet other people from all over the world. It was at no point that did I know of anyone who posted negatively about the job. Um, because I don't know, maybe times have changed. Maybe now that everyone is on social media, it's a lot easier for your employer to see what you're posting. And what happened
Mm-hmm.
with this one person ultimately
Mm-hmm.
led her to lose her job. And let me see if I can find her.
You think so? I mean,
Well, she posted it on TikTok. I mean,
uh, you
it's
think?
public knowledge. Yes. She kindly posted, she works in the medical field, and this young lady felt the need to post about the fact that in the hospitals, allegedly, this is all alleged, you guys, because social media is social media. You don't know, if you don't have a
What's what?
first-hand account. But allegedly, in this hospital that she works for, the doctors and the nurses and the staff who work on the night shift hook up. And when I say hook up, they hook up. Maybe hooking at.
Girl,
So
girl.
somehow she
I
thought
got
that was like, why
I'm
would
in a
you, girl?
I I think I need to go into the medical field. Cause I see how they look around there, honey. They don't look like they used to look when we were growing up. Like, you a doctor? God dang, come fix me by all means. You want to talk about being obedient and listening to your doctor, girl? Whatever you
Yes.
say,
Uh huh.
whatever you say.
Follow these directions to a T.
Yes, absolutely. Like, yo, I remember when I was in the remember when I was in the hospital, and I was like, God dang,
I don't know.
man.
That one doctor, he was not.
Yeah, I didn't like him. I didn't like him, but I did not
Mm.
like him at all. He was unattractive, and what was coming out of his mouth was really like,
The funny thing is, when I read this thing, I thought of him and I was like, I'm pretty sure he ain't getting on the hot. I was like, that
I know
guy,
who ain't
no.
getting in at night. I know who not. I might not know who is, but I know who not.
He wasn't.
That's what
Sorry.
his real problem is. Oh well, if you're not using your shit, you gonna handle that. Thanks.
Right. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all would
Mm-hmm.
need some context behind that. And we ain't gonna share it here. But
Um.
mm,
So she decided to share.
mhm.
Um.
Allegedly.
What she thought was allegedly happening, or she allegedly
Well, she
made
posted
a.
it. She
Oh, so
posted
we
it.
don't have to. So we don't have to say allegedly with that because we got
Well,
that. So
right.
she made a post about allegedly what people were doing on her job at night, which is
Yeah.
their business. Which is their business. Um,
Not on company time.
definitely not on company time. But if you really got an issue with it, I'm pretty sure posting it for TikTok was not the right way to deal with that. Like if you really had an issue with it, you really feeling some type of way about it, instead of HR finding out on your TikTok, there's other ways to handle that. And maybe you would still have a job because you're not putting their business out on social
I
media.
suspect it's.
No?
Here's my suspicion. Now, her doing
Okay.
this.
She's fucking somebody she wanted, ain't it? Y'all,
No,
I like him and y'all getting it
no.
in.
I
No,
think
that's
it's
not it.
probably
Okay,
more.
go ahead.
It's common knowledge in that field or in that setting, and no one talks about it because of the high. Because what is a high pressure
Um,
job. I suspect that. Well,
okay.
not not everybody, but if you are a doctor, if
I can
you're a
see that.
nurse, that's a lot of pressure. So I'm not saying we don't need stress relief. I just don't think that's the place for it. I don't think that's
Sorry.
the place for it. I mean, just in my humblest opinion. Really? Here? Like, and what she also proceeded to
Right.
say is that these people are married, they're in relationships, and they're working the night shift, and they're hooking up with their fellow employees during work
Oh,
hours. Well, one of her nurse people that
wow.
follows her on social media, because apparently she has a decent
Wow.
following, reported her behind to HR.
Wow.
I feel like HR probably already knew. And they're like, well, I guess you got to relieve attention somehow.
Well, now since everybody know, um, sorry, it's the way,
it's
it's the relieved attention for me. That's what got me over here so damn tickled. Yeah,
true.
yeah, but you could. I was gonna say do squats, but I'm pretty sure that's probably what they was in there doing.
Okay.
Um,
Squats. Pretty certain that's what they were doing.
okay, sorry,
Okay.
sorry, sorry. Um, I feel like if she was feeling some type of way about it, she could have handled it differently.
Um,
I would not have handled it that way. First of all, if I'm being 100% honest, I probably wouldn't even give a fuck. It's not my business. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm not, unless I know you personally, like, if me and your boo thing, or me and your hubby, or me and whoever you dealing with, right, are working at a hospital together and I see some shit, I'm gonna side eye him and I'm gonna let him know in his
mhm.
face. What is this? Right? But that's different. Do you know these people? Are you cool with these people? Why are you in their business? I could care less who is getting it in.
The
Hell,
only way I would
I,
care is if it was affecting the level of care patients were receiving. Like if you're too busy,
but
effing around in one of these upstairs apartments
True.
somewhere, and you have an emergency down here and it's taking your
Mhm.
ass too long to get down here because you're trying to finish your business, then
Mhm,
what
mhm, mhm.
quality of care are you going to give patients if your priority is getting late?
But did she
She
voice
didn't.
that?
But this is a hypothetical, right? We don't know her reasonings as to why she was feeling some kind of way, but she was feeling some kind of way.
If
And then,
but if she was feeling some type of way about their care, then that's what the fuck she should
fair.
have said,
But then I would
right?
feel
Right.
like,
If
I don't want to say disgruntled, but I would feel like, why am I here? Now, this is her opportunity to go find another job. If she felt like the ethics of the people that were working, she was working with, if she thought their ethics were
mm,
skewed, she had an opportunity to go find another job.
mm,
Fine.
right.
Maybe it's slim
Absolutely.
pickings.
Mhm,
But if I'm
mhm.
here working, doing my job, I'm not here to flirt with you. I'm not here to, make friends with you. And here you guys are just more interested in effing than the job. What are you getting paid for? What are you getting paid for? I mean, I guess
So,
I would feel there's something to think about how someone might feel in that setting.
so that point is very valid. It is no question about it. But like, yo, because nobody wants to pull extra weight. Like nobody wants to do your job and their
Yeah.
job too. Um, but as an adult, just hear me out. As an adult, why don't you go to that person that you have the issue with and be like, hey, listen, what you do is your business, but do your job first because I don't want to be doing your
Mm-hmm.
job. Because, see, that's what adults do. Adults actually go to the person and say, hey, listen, I don't listen. You getting it in? Just don't make my job harder because you're getting it in. And if that was really the issue, I feel like that's what she would have brought up in her video where she was venting about what the fuck everybody was
She
doing.
didn't, but I mean, I don't think that maybe she was mad because she wasn't getting it.
Maybe you ain't getting none. Somebody give her
I don't know.
some.
I mean, here's the thing, but can you at the workplace, is it ever like if you have a beef with someone and I don't know, I've never, let me think for a second. I have had a beef on the workplace one time. I've never I don't think I have there's only been one person in my years of working that I had a hard time where I was like, I cannot work with this person. And I'm pretty much like, hey, whatever. Like this is a job. I'm not going to take you too seriously. But I did have one person who, and when I'm on the job, I'm on the job. I'm here to work. I'm not here to play around, be on YouTube, whatever. Like that's not my thing.
Mhm,
And this
mhm.
person was the same way, but I think that he might have been off his meds that day.
Girl, off the medication?
Well, because
I have days like that. I have days where I
he no,
don't,
he would be
I
like
forget.
you didn't know what you were gonna get. And the days where he might have been off of it, he might call somebody a pain in the ass for doing their job.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah,
wait.
yeah.
Mm-mm. Pause. For doing their job?
Yes.
What do you mean for doing their job? You're gonna
Oh,
have
I'm
to
not going into
elaborate
those
on that
details
one.
because I worked for a public company and I signed a CDA. So I can't even talk about full broad
Okay.
details of it. But like that's the only person that
Okay.
I have felt like I can't work with you like at all. To the point where I did have to go to my supervisor and I was like, look, I'm just trying to do my job, but you're not going to be an asshole to me for doing my job because I try to handle it with said person. But you cannot talk to and you cannot communicate with every person that you work with.
But can I ask you a
Mm.
question? Did you make an effort to
Oh yeah, of
communicate?
course. I mean, that's always my thing. But
Okay. Okay. Well, then that's what
call
I'm
me a pain
trying
in
to
the ass, and I
say.
can't cuss you out like I want to. I don't have a choice but to go to my supervisor because it's either I'm gonna lose my job and
Right. Because I'm going to get nasty back with you and it's going to go all
yeah,
downhill because I know it's in
yes.
you. You don't let it show. You're real kind of reserved, but I know it. I know it's there because we definitely related,
It pissed
girl.
me off enough.
You said what
It
now?
pissed me off enough, and it'll happen. But in the workplace, it has never happened.
Yeah.
because my livelihood is more important, because we got kids to feed, we got a roof to keep over our heads. Like, I have a line.
I had someone try to fight me in the workplace because I was
See,
ignoring them.
but that's why you can't
I
talk
was
to everybody.
I was totally ignoring. I was ignoring her because she was just not my type of people. I realized it, but I realized it a little too late. You
Yeah,
know the story,
yeah.
right? So, like, literally, like, and played that shit off so well.
How much you want to
Girl,
bet?
had me had me question. Wait, had me question my own reality.
Girl,
Like,
I think my wig is slipping. I'm
girl,
sweating.
girl, you see me over here like this little office is hot as
Same.
shit.
Yes, we wear wigs to record. Sorry. Occasionally.
Girl, I like this
Okay.
one.
I'm like, I think
Okay,
this
go
shit
ahead.
is
I'm so
slipping
sorry.
back. It falls off.
I like it. I like it. Just girl, if it fall off, we just gonna keep on going. We just
No.
you gonna you gonna reach back there, grab the wig.
Let me
You gonna
fix my hat.
say, "How old girl? How old girl?" She said, "Oh my god,
Oh no.
remember that video?"
I don't want to be that
Oh
girl. She
my
was
god.
so cute and funny, but I don't want to be her right
I think she handled it so
now.
gracefully, did
She
she
did.
not? She did that. She handled this shit so gracefully. I would have been like, "Stop the tape! Stop the tape!" Wait
She
one
was
second.
so gorgeous
My
and she
wig.
handled it like, and I'm like about to
Absolutely
hide under
stunning.
the table.
Absolutely, girl. I got you. I got
um,
you.
but I think it's funny. Like, you can't talk to everyone on the workplace. So it would be nice to say, hey, you can talk to your coworker and say, hey, look, I don't think that you're being ethical in the workplace, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to listen, they're going to care, or even handle it appropriately. So sometimes you can't. Thank you, everyone who's joining us. It's
I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm
If you
listening.
are on TikTok, thank you, everyone who's here on the talk, and then on YouTube, and then on Facebook. We truly appreciate you guys spending some time with us on this Sunday. And we know Sundays are kind of hard because, hey, tomorrow's Monday, got to get back to work, got to get the kids organized. So we get it. Back to school, and these kids be rebelling. They don't love it. But thank you for joining us on a Sunday.
Girl.
But ultimately, this person, I suspect that one of the nurses who was following her may have been one of the culprits. And that's why she got called into HR for a meeting.
You think she was getting it in for whoever reported her
I
was
believe
getting it
so.
in? It was like, you're not gonna be talking
I
about me
believe
in
so.
these streets. You think it was that guilt? You think it
I
was the
don't know.
guilt? Like, oh, this whole putting my business out
Yeah.
here. Girl, you
Yes.
too?
It's the
Girl.
lights. I'm not having a moment, you guys, and I'm not going to say I'm not of that age. I might be. However, it's a little hot. And then the wig is like, that's why I said,
I know my ass is of age.
I don't know what you're talking about.
My ass is of age. And I don't care. I'll tell it. Shit. It's hot as hell. Girl,
A
this thing.
dual hot flash. Oh, why not put the air on before we started?
Girl, I got this little air conditioner in here. And I feel like I have to move shit to get it on, and I just don't want to move shit. But I'm so desperate, I might start rearranging this office right now
In the
as we
midst of.
speak. In the midst, wait, before I pass out on your ass.
Let me just
God,
show
dang,
you, if
it's so
y'all can
hard.
see my shirt, I'm gonna move my mic over. If this logo here, if y'all can see it, says anything, that'll give you an idea of why we're sitting here cooking under all these lights. MTV, music, television. And no, this is not an advertisement. This is gonna tell you why we sitting here sweltering, okay? Anyway.
I'm melting. I'm
What in
melting.
the heck? Sorry, guys. But thank you guys for joining us. I mean, this is a lot of fun, but this moment right here where we're both fanning ourselves is not.
It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck?
That's why I was saying that I need a different hair piece or different hat for the summer because this hair is a lot. Anyway,
It's
yes.
a lot. It's cute
Thank
though. It's
you.
cute. I want you to know that it's cute. It's
I'm
cute.
feeling
I
good.
like it.
Well, I want to stop wearing like the braiding hair and the crochet hair because I recently read, and this is not the same topic, you guys, but I read an article where at least 10 different brands was tested that found hazardous chemicals in it that are hazardous to us, that have like carcinogens and stuff
Yeah.
like that and high levels of lead and stuff. So it came at the perfect time where I was like, well, we need to start looking at other options. I'm not saying it's not in this kind of hair, but there's been no reports of it. But yeah, anywho, so turns out the woman, she gets pulled into a meeting at HR. She got reported by one of her coworkers, and then ultimately she did, allegedly, again because we don't have firsthand knowledge, but ultimately she got fired. I wonder if she thought it was worth it.
She did a second video where she
Yeah,
said she
yeah.
got fired.
I would like,
She
is
said
it,
she got fired.
to me, it's not worth it. Like, I don't care what beef you have with your employer, with the other employees, posting it on social media and then having your people following you on social media is less than smart. Sorry. But that's true.
Like, you gonna talk about me and you know we friends on social media?
I mean,
Not
well,
the
I mean, they
wisest,
said, from what I
right?
understood, she said that HR was like, pull the videos down. And if you don't pull them down, then, we're going to have to let you go. And they're like, we can't have people coming to our hospital. And since you have a decent amount of following on social media, they're going to know it's our hospital because they've recognized you, which is a fair point. They don't need bad press. But, hun,
So so she didn't delete it? I would
she
have deleted
did.
it. I was like,
She
okay,
didn't take
fine, I'll
it
delete
down.
it.
I mean, she drew her line in the sand, and now you have no job for it.
Oh, okay.
Was it worth
Oh
it?
well, like that's crazy. No, I don't know. I hear they don't make as much money as we think they make. That's what I hear word on the
What, if
street.
you're in the medical field?
Depending
I
on
knew
what you're
someone who
doing,
did
yeah.
traveling medicine, and they were in the six figures.
Oh shit, I definitely got in the wrong. Like, you mean I can make money and get it
Mm-hmm.
in? Stress relief
Yep.
all in one?
Fix my hat. Y'all don't judge me.
I'm in the
Don't
wrong.
judge me.
I'm in the
Yeah.
wrong business. Clearly.
I mean, I don't know if it was any truth to it, but I mean, this person didn't seem like someone who would not be honest. I mean, I didn't get exact figures, but I know what they were doing. Six figures, or just up, just under.
So so um I
Mm.
have a question. Do you feel that both of them were justified in being relieved of their duty?
I believe yes on both accounts.
Okay.
The first one is because if you can't meet a client in a tube top.
I mean, you can depending on what
I
kind of
don't know what
client.
message you want to send here, but that's not, you're not sending the right message. If a company can afford to pay you ultimately six figures, $200,000 a year, they're going to expect a certain level of decorum. I've had jobs that have paid a fraction of that, and they expect a level of decorum. You can't meet a client or a customer wearing a tube top and a mini skirt. I guess if don't drop anything, shit, because then you might be showing some stuff that you're not supposed to for real. Mhm.
So, so I don't know. Maybe it was helping her. Maybe it was help. Listen,
Mm.
just hear me out. Maybe that's the message she was going for. Maybe she was, um, maybe she was trying
Find a
to.
husband.
Maybe she was trying to get her a boo thing in the workplace. Maybe she was trying to find her a rich man. Like, Maybe that's what she was going for. And they was like, bitch, you're not gonna come here and find no
two
man not dressed
two
like
days into
that.
the job, honey, please at least give it a couple of months when you've passed your probationary period. I mean, come on.
And then try to spice it up a little
Yes,
bit. I
not
get
2 days
it. I
in.
get it.
And listen, trends are cute, but there's some trends that don't belong in the workplace. And that would be what, I mean, let me think about this for a second.
Hell, there's some trends that don't belong no damn where. But go ahead.
Let me think for a second. I don't know. I'm not one to keep on trend with that many things. So maybe there are some trends that you might learn from that's good for the workplace. I have yet to hear of one. Never is a tube top. Like, hell no. What are you dripping? And I think they were
Crazy.
right to fire her. I'm not saying, but they could have maybe used this as an opportunity for her to teach her that this is not appropriate for the workplace ever. They could have looked at it that way, but if you're offering someone that kind of money, they shouldn't have to teach you how to work. Do you know what I'm saying?
I
$200,000?
agree.
Oh, maybe $12 an hour, maybe. Okay, fine. You may not know it. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, I don't know what that threshold is, but $200,000 given me like, hey, you better know how to act when you come here. I mean, but maybe she was fresh out of college and still up in her party time and was confused. That's possible. So thank you everyone who's joining us. If you're on TikTok or if you are on Facebook, we always appreciate your support. Mm.
I'm so sorry. Uh, Hold on, please.
Well, I'll just keep it going until she comes back.
I'm still here. I'm still
No,
here.
that's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
So where are you guys watching from? Don't be afraid to drop it in the comments. We are always happy to see any
What
comments
happened?
that you guys want to drop in there.
What? What little girl?
All right. So just give her a few minutes. My co-host just has to handle some stuff. Hey, listen, hashtag mom life. It is a Sunday. And usually we do keep our Sunday lives kind of on the shorter end because we do have, life happens and we have to get stuff done ready for Monday, if you get back to work, get the kids to school. But what do you guys think about this whole scenario? Do you guys have an opinion? Do you think that the company was ultimately just in letting that person go? If you are joining us on TikTok, please we may not be able to catch your comment so quickly, so don't worry. But we are trying our best to monitor the comments and making sure that we are catching that. All right, Janine will be back in a second. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get you unmuted. All right, there you go. No, that's okay.
Sorry.
So I mean, I think in the very first scenario, definitely justified in firing her. The second one, absolutely in both scenarios, I think it was justified. I mean, I can't have any shenanigans coming to my workplace, and God forbid that the wives roll up or the spouses roll up talking about like who's fucking. Excuse me.
Who fucking? That part.
Which one of y'all is doing this? And you're working the night shift, so it can't be everybody. So now you're gonna have wives calling up on the job saying who, I mean,
I tell you what it remind me of.
what?
Girl, you know what it remind me
Mm-mm.
of? When you said it was two of them that worked there with the same name.
All right, I'm gonna share a secret with you guys.
These marriages are going down.
I will share this
I'm sorry.
because a
I'm
long
sorry.
time ago, I had a lying, cheating ex
Girl.
husband who happened to work nights. And oddly enough, similar situation, different field. He was having an affair with one of his coworkers.
Oh,
So I have had this as a spouse, being the spouse of someone whose husband or husband is cheating with their coworker who happens to work a night shift. So I have literally been there. So Janine is laughing about something that I shared with her that it never occurred to me that I might have in my anger.
dude, everybody in divorce court, everybody,
In my anger, blowing up spots on the workplace. That's the part. Can you imagine the wife? I would be one of those wives who's rolling up to the hospital like, who
where he at? Where he
when
at
he's on
now?
shift.
Where shit,
Now, that would have been me
girl.
however many years ago. Now that would not be the case. I'd be like, okay, look, I'm a different person, would handle it different. But had this been 10 years ago, I would have been one of the wives rolling up at midnight, like, who you effing with on this night shift?
Well, I have
Mm-hmm.
grown a lot. I have. I have grown. I have come a long
Mm-hmm.
way. But had my significant other,
Mm-hmm.
had my spouse been working at that
Mm-hmm.
location, I assure you, I'd have been bringing that nigger lunch, dinner,
Afternoon delights or midnight delights.
after that. You want a snack? What you want? Cause I'm coming to see about my man. Cause I want to know who was sleeping around.
And now it's too late. You can't put that cat back in the bag now because everyone knows. So what, like,
Everybody that's married is side eyeing their spouse when they come home from work. How was your day at
smelling
work?
them? You smell like perfume? You smell like cologne?
You smell what you smell like?
Mm,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't you get in that shower
let
just
me give
yet.
you a
Come
good
here. Let me
hug.
check you out. Come here. Come here. Let me give you some love. Don't you jump in the shower yet. Let me love on you a little bit.
Oh my gosh, but listen, it's inappropriate to be posting about the workplace. Like if you feel really that bad
I agree.
about your,
I agree.
then just leave. Find another job.
Jesus.
Like I don't know what that
Absolutely.
person's role was in the hospital. She said she wasn't a nurse, so she probably wasn't a doctor. So she might have been hating a little bit, like I'm not on any of your levels. I'm getting a fraction of your salaries, and here you go effing around, literally. And the little people don't have that luxury.
While y'all getting it in, I'm changing bedpans. While y'all getting
I'm
it
sure she
in.
was salty. Hell yeah! Do you want to be changing bedpans while someone else is having a good moment in a room somewhere?
I be like, when y'all done, let me know. Cause I need some stress relief.
I'm just saying.
Let me call my man up here so I can get it in. Like what
Lunch
the
is at 3. Meet you in the parking lot.
me, right? We got some vacant rooms up here. Everybody else use them. I guess we can use them too, boo. Like,
That's the thing. Like you got a lunch break. Y'all could do this on your lunch break. You don't have to do it on company time. I would think that would be something that would piss somebody off really bad. Like you're doing this on company time. You're not even on your lunch break. I'm sitting here wiping asses and changing diapers, and y'all here.
but was she specific about when they were
She
doing
she
it?
said the shift. No, but she didn't say that. She didn't say
Uh,
like specific times. But that's the only way I could see someone being mad or that mad, or
mm,
maybe because she wasn't getting some of that.
mm.
Maybe because she wasn't getting some of that attention.
You upset, boo? Oh, it's been a minute for me too. I understand, but you ain't gotta hate like that. You ain't
I
gotta hate
mean,
like
I'm not trying to mess up somebody's flow. I mean, like I think about it, and I think back to being the spouse that had that happen with my ex-husband at the time, and I'm like, it was such a terrible time to have to find out. And the way that I found out too, I feel bad for the spouses of the people who are doing it, to have to find out about it on social media. Like, what a shitty way to find out that your spouse could
I agree.
potentially be having an affair.
I agree.
Is
Girl.
yeah.
Uh, can you all
No,
see?
I can't see anything.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Your chair is kind of
Okay.
flickering in and out. Um, I mean, I
Okay.
gotta tell you, I've been kind of staying off of social media purposefully and trying to reduce what I'm watching on the news. But this weekend, I did catch up on a lot of my TikTok news,
Girl, what's going in? What's going
where I
on? I haven't really been
found.
on.
Sorry, no, no, no.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You
Go
haven't
ahead. Go
either?
ahead.
Because I'm like, no, that what
Yeah.
everybody's talking about on social media. I don't want to talk about that stuff. I'm like, I'm so over it. I don't want to watch the news. I'm so over that shit. Excuse me. But this weekend I did catch up, and that's I saw these two stories. We both saw them, and then I was watching a couple series of true stories where a group of girls literally got like I don't know what we can say on here, but was taken in Colombia.
Unalive.
No, not
Unalive.
unalive. They were
Oh.
taken, like
Oh.
taken, like napped.
You mean like? You mean like
Like I don't know what's okay. I'm gonna
what?
say it. These three ladies were kidnapped in Colombia.
And
No, they
used for
managed to escape.
garden
No,
tools.
no, they escaped. They had like they
Good
escaped. Like
job.
I was like, it was a 17. I gotta see if I can find it fast. So three girls, they were in, and all three, I caught two of their series on TikTok, and they were basically they were kidnapped from a taxi. The
Uh-huh.
taxi driver tried to literally keep them, and they were like fighting basically for their lives, and they ended up flying home. Like they were in Colombia for like a less than 24 hours before they were like fighting for their lives and trying to get away from some psycho. And I'm gonna find it in a second. Hang on. So if you guys need something to catch up on, I mean, I'm gonna tell you this is better than watching soap operas, or any series you can find on Hulu or Netflix. It was. Let me see if I can find it fast. Okay, I'm gonna give you her name. Okay, so you have to look for on TikTok. Her name is She's So Maya or Maya. I would say Maya, but She's So Maya, and I think she has a 7-part series of as being one of the girls who escaped it. And it seems like legitimate enough because it's not just her. And I watched two of the girls' series about it, and their stories are pretty similar, but they were basically attempted kidnapping out of a taxi in Cartagena, Colombia. Um, she's so Maya. Let me see if I can find the other one. I thought I saved her. You got
Found
her?
her.
Okay. So watch that. I would highly recommend it because she's one of three girls, and I found one of her friends. But yeah, I was catching up on that, and then there was another TikTok series, 17 parts, 17-part series about a girls' trip in Colorado that went wrong. So if you guys are looking for something to catch up on, that's what I recommend. One of them is funny, but this one that I just mentioned is more on the serious side. And then the other one is Tina Bean. She has a whole playlist of Aspen GC, and it's 17 different parts from when I last checked. And it is quite scandalous. But that's what I did this weekend. I said, let me catch up on TikTok. And boy, was I entertained. But I think I'm back off TikTok after today. I'm back to limiting myself to about 30 minutes of all social media going forward. I'm back on my train. That's
30
all I give
minutes.
myself every day. But that's all of all of them. I give my 30 minutes a day. That's all I'm giving myself. And for the news, it's like 10 minutes. That's it.
Girl, how do you get yourself? How do you? Girl, You
I read
motivate
a
me. I
book,
love
girl.
you.
I watch Paradise on Hulu.
Girl, you got me stuck. I was like, let me go see what she's talking
Xavier
about.
Collins.
I was like, girl, that mother
Yes.
boy, sir, sir.
His wife is real
If
lucky.
you don't put your damn if you don't put your damn clothes back on,
There was a scene when they were like checking him for I think it was in episode 8 where they were checking to make sure he has no weapons.
girl.
Because remember, Barbara and I, we did the virtual thing, and we have a virtual date later today to get back on the VR. So we were both watching it, and then I suddenly laughed, and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I wish he would have lifted his shirt up just a little bit more." Because there was a scene where they were trying to check him for weapons. I think it was episode 8. I was like, "It's
Like,
quite buff."
I don't know if you got any weapons under there, but you got some weapons
Like
under
an 8 pack.
there.
But if you
Sir,
guys aren't watching that series,
girl,
you have got to watch it. It's on Hulu, 8 parts. That's season 1. I think they were signed for another season. So Paradise on Hulu. But
girl. That shower scene where they showed us. Wait,
some good
wait,
stuff.
girl.
hmm
I was
So why are you fanning yourself this time?
girl. Think about that man behind in that shower. Like, God damn, man. Put your clothes on, sir. Put your clothes on, cause I am
Yep.
sitting in my mind right now.
Um,
It's
making sure.
fine.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway,
But
I thought it was just me. I was like,
no,
is it me? Is he fine?
no.
He
His wife is a lucky
is.
lady.
He
She's an
is.
actress too, and I'm sorry that I can't. Her name's not coming to me because I'm sitting here having a hot flash.
Girl, let me tell
But she's gorgeous.
you.
She's very lucky, I'm sure, as is he. But you know what, guys? We just wanted to hop on here and talk about some of the most interesting things we came across this weekend, and this one was it. When is it appropriate to lose your job over social media BS?
Never,
Never.
never. Like, did you lose your job because you wanted to put people in your business? And no, wait a minute, not in your business, in the workforce
hmm
business. And did you really come in here with like you was going to walk the street?
I mean, come on. I can't. I just can't. Like, I can't imagine what would possess someone to think that. And again, maybe they were just really young. And maybe that's why that they just didn't know what's appropriate for the workplace and what's not appropriate for the workplace. I think there's a high possibility of that. Um, but you guys, as always, this stream, we try to keep it tight for Sunday because we know everyone's back to work tomorrow. Please know we might switch up the times. We're not sure. So just make sure that you are subscribing and you're following so you can get those notifications of Ouse Now podcast on YouTube. This will be posted and made public later today. And then it'll be available on Facebook for about 30 days. And then, hey, you guys on TikTok, come on. Y'all need to get over on YouTube, all right? Because then you'll get to see these lives after if it's ended.
Please, please, and thank you. Please, like,
Absolutely.
I think we have really kind of. I feel like we have really
Mhm.
grown um with the TikTok platforms, but it's like YouTube.
I mean,
I don't really. I
let's
don't
be real
know.
though. I mean, does anyone really know what's happening with TikTok? Because we're like halfway through that deadline and extension, and
We still here.
but we're halfway. We got maybe what 45 days, 30 days left. Is someone gonna buy it? Because it's a 75-day extension, and they're not really talking about the divestiture to anyone, to an American company. They've kept that part kind of quiet. And listen, I don't. I'm not too vested in TikTok as it is. Whatever. But is it a handy tool?
Right.
Absolutely. Um, but I think, and this is not that conversation because we're gonna wrap soon, but I think that the way they handled this was completely wrong. They had plenty of opportunity to figure out a plan, and they waited till to get the 75-day extension, and it's been crickets since that happened. So what's the plan for the platform? So I don't want to get even more vested in it when we still do not know who's buying it. Is there a plan? Any contracts been signed? Like I don't want to waste my time with you guys. Anyway, sorry TikTok. As much as I appreciate you, listen, I know when to step away. That's all I'm saying. And we don't know the health of it, of the company, if they're not really talking about who's actively looking to purchase it currently. So don't depend on just this one platform, I guess is really, we can't for our podcast. So we have to divest into other, you know?
I
Yeah.
agree. I really do. I wasn't. I didn't. I feel like, are they really gonna do anything about it? Cause I don't
I
know.
mean,
It
I
doesn't
don't
seem
know.
like
I mean,
it.
but the law was passed through Congress and the law was signed. There was an extension given for 75 days. That was January 19th, February, March. We're almost at the 2-month mark. So it's been really quiet since that point. But the law was signed where you have to have an active divestiture, and it's kind of like crickets. Maybe they're just trying to get enough money as they can off of TikTok Shop before they shut us down for real.
They gonna get me. They gonna get
I
my
don't
ass.
know. Look, don't what do they call that when they like suppress your content? Now don't do that. But what you can do is tell us what's happening with this app so
I,
we know.
you don't think they have been suppressing
Yes, they
content?
have. Absolutely. I've heard countless stories.
Cause
Yeah.
I've noticed that sometimes when I make um certain posts, it sits there, and they'll be like under review, under review, under review, under review, under review, and I'm like, why?
Um, in my experience, the ones where I'm pushing, like trying to get people over to the tube, those are the ones that get very little views from what I've experienced. When I talk about, hey, this is only on YouTube, those get very little views. Um, so that's just my,
So you think it's
yeah.
definitely something that they're
Yeah,
doing? I'm
and
sorry, I didn't mean
there's
to
the
cut you off.
one person that I honestly, there's one person that I don't want to say religiously, but I make it a point to watch her content because it's the she's an attorney, so even she is saying like her
Mm,
content is getting suppressed, and she doesn't hold a position. Well, I think we all have an idea of where she leans on things, but she is an attorney, and she believes in the rule of law. And that's
mm.
the only thing she talks about. And her content is getting suppressed. But there's a lot of people
Wow.
nowadays that are not following the rule of law. 125 lawsuits later. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Girl,
Because we're not getting into that
I
conversation.
can't with you. Woo! That was a good one.
I've been every week I look,
Girl,
I check every week, and it's
mm,
like, oh, we're up to 95. Oh, 112. Oh, this week 125. So her content is seriously getting suppressed as far as I can see. But what she's reviewing is she'll review the Constitution, she'll review actual legal pending cases, and her stuff is getting suppressed. So from what she's from her experience. So yeah, I believe absolutely. I don't know how the tube works. I don't really know how FB works and all that, but I mean, that's why our podcast is not just available on one place. So, for the health of our our little podcast, we've got to keep our minds open for different platforms as we promote it. But Thank you, everybody. Sorry that we went down a bit of a rabbit hole. We tend to do that sometimes. And if you're a long-time listener, you know what time it is. Sometimes it happens.
I'm like, damn, they doing it again. They doing it again.
But we will jump out
Damn
of this
it.
rabbit hole to say thank you, everyone who is supporting our podcast. And stay tuned for next week. March 31st will be our season finale, but we do have a new project that's coming that we will talk about after we record our season finale. And we start
Yes.
tidying up some details about another Oust project that will be coming forth on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube yet, please do. This project is very, very special, near and dear to women and women of color. And that's why we're doing it as this very first special series from us. So head on over, go to the YouTube, Oust Now podcast. Follow it. Okay? We appreciate your support as always.
As always, feedback, as always, looking for guests for season 4, as always. And we can't grow without you guys.
There
So
it
thank
is.
you so much. All
Absolutely.
right, y'all have a good night. Thank you for hanging in there with us as we went on in left field, came back, went in left field again, went over there in right field, and came back. But thank you.
Absolutely.